instant reaction to what happened at Cameron Indoor is what?
This was a big win for a Duke team, and I think it was for anything, it was kind of for their bravado a little bit, right? Like they come up short against a couple big games against Kansas, against Kentucky. Certainly they went out to Tucson and beat the brakes out of Arizona, but Arizona, let's face it, they haven't looked anything like a top 25 team so far. This Auburn team comes in with toughness. That's what they're all about, chipping their shoulder guys. They got maybe the best big man in the country in Janai Broome. They got tough guards. And I thought Duke, after the first few minutes, they looked stunned early. They didn't guard for the first 3 minutes. Miles Kelly's knocking down shots. And I thought their defense got better. And really, to me, Isaiah Evans, we know, kept him in the game in the first half. And then in the second half, I thought it was a collective effort. I really did. Cooper Flagg was phenomenal tonight. Other than shooting the three, Cooper Flagg did everything tonight. And he had help. Proctor made some shots. Con Knipple made a drive at the end of the game that was big. Zion James made a couple key plays. This was just a good team win for Duke when, again, I think they needed to have it against the team that's looked the best so far this season, the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, the issue with Duke has not been whether or not they're good enough to win these games, right? Like they were a possession away from beating Kentucky on a neutral court. Kentucky's the number 4 team in the country, right? They were a possession away from beating Kansas on a neutral court. Kansas is the number 1 team in the country. We know Duke is good enough to hang in there and beat in these games. The question is, can they do it at winning time? And the one thing I think was good for them tonight is that they made their big shots before it was the final possession of the game. Like the Tyrese Proctor 3 that he hit to beat that shot clock buzzer, like that might have been like, I think it's probably too early to call it the game winner, but that was the moment when you're like, all right, this is probably going to end up being Duke's night, right? I thought Zion James was incredible tonight. Like Cooper Flagg made a lot of really big plays. Obviously, Isaiah Evans with the threes that he hit mattered. I thought Malik Brown's defense and his ability to like kind of be switchable and take up more space when you were like playing in those ball screens a little bit more than Malawach did. I thought he was good, but like Zion James, he had a steal where he forced the turnover on Janai Broome in the second half. He had the dunk in the and one. It was his defense that he played. Like he brings a different level of length and toughness and physicality than Caleb Foster does. And I just think that he made so many big plays for that team. Duke is going to win this year because of their defense, Henson. Like this is a team that is going to be built around, you're not going to be able to score on us. This is not going to be easy. Auburn is huge on the wings, huge everywhere. And they looked kind of small going up against Duke and Cameron tonight. Like that was a really impressive win for me for Duke.
Yeah, and Duke, I think, would have the second tallest average team in the country. So, they've got pro size. Defensively, they're going to be tough to deal with. And even Proctor developing into like a dead-eye three-point shooter, I think, is a big deal, man. That really helps them, especially with Flagg kind of taking the reins and being a creator and a playmaker, having kind of that gravitational pull to help him have space, along with their defense. I mean, Cooper Flagg is as good, if not better than advertised. He's doing it all. Duke playing those early games and against those tough teams. We discussed it, man. It's only going to bode well for them. And tonight, it showed what happens when you go out there early in the conference play or before conference play, and you play these number 1 teams, and you go to these neutral courts and these harsh environments. They handled Auburn. They took the punch. They fought back, and Duke is going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially in this weaker ACC this year, man. They're going to –
Hey, Henson.
What's up?
I got a question for you about Duke's offense, okay? Like a lot of it comes down to just kind of isolation stuff at the end of games. And to me, that works when you have it works for, like, let's just say the Boston Celtics, right? When you have Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Does it work for this version of Duke?
Well,
let's put that on hold. Let's put that on hold because we have a special guest. Jeff Goodman has a man. Duke hit 9 threes tonight, Jeff. The man sitting to the right of you hit 6 of them.
All right, Isaiah. You're here on After Dark in a performance that I'm not sure you even knew you were going to pull off in the first half. You didn't play at all in the games against Kansas, Kentucky, and Arizona. Didn't get in there. Tonight, you get in there and you make your presence felt. 6 threes, 18 points in the first half. You got all the Cameron crazies going nuts. What was it like?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Just being able to make the most out of my opportunity tonight, show the world what I can do, show my coaches what I can do, just gain confidence in my teammates.
How did you stay ready for this moment? Because, again, you didn't get a lot of time early, especially in these big games. Some of the bye games, last game you played well. How do you stay mentally ready for a moment like this?
You just do it. You just at the end of the day, I came here for a difficult time. I came here to put myself in an uncomfortable position to get better and to learn. But most of all, I'm always stay ready because I'm a basketball player. That's my job. I feel like if I'm ever not ready, that's a problem. And tonight it just paid off.
How big was this win, Isaiah? Because again, you came up short. Arizona, you won, huge win. But you came up short against two teams that you probably thought you had a chance to win at the end. How big was closing this one out against a tough Auburn team?
It just proves that we can win. We don't get too much into social media things, but of course, it's inevitable. You're going to hear things. People don't think we can finish games against good teams. It just shows that we can, and it's just a learning process. And then, wins like this builds confidence for a team like us, even though we know how good we are. Getting wins like this builds confidence for next games because, this is not the only game that we're going to be in a situation like this.
What's it like playing with Cooper Flag? I mean, obviously he gets a lot of attention, and I don't think he really wants the attention. I really don't. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, and you can't tell watching him whether you guys are up 20, down 20. With you, I could tell you were getting going. You get excited. Cooper doesn't show much emotion, does he?
No, I mean, it's a lot on his shoulders at the end of the day. He has to stay laser focused. That's his game. I'm a guy, I'm going to get rowdy. I'm going to get the crowd into it. I'm going to hype myself up. He's a guy like, hey, he's straight line. Get a stop, get a bucket, and do it over again. You know what I'm saying? So that's I love playing with him. I love seeing him do his thing, attacking him, paint hard. It's just great seeing it.
How are you going to celebrate? Last question tonight. You going to go sleep? Are you going to be able to sleep tonight? I mean, my guess is it's going to be tough falling asleep after a first half performance like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to figure that out after this interview.
All right, listen, congrats, man. That was a hell of a performance. Isaiah Evans, 18 first half points. And listen, without him, they're not even in the game at halftime, guys.
No, and he was fantastic in this game. Isaiah, thank you for the time. Rob, what did Isaiah Evans mean for Duke, and how big is that for Duke? Because we've been talking about perimeter shooting for this team. Kyle Knipple wasn't supplying it tonight. They needed somebody to do it, and Evans did it with 6. 6 of the team's 9 triples came from a guy who, as Jeff just said, wasn't in any of Duke's marquee games.
Yeah, and I saw people were saying like, oh, this is fluky. Oh, this is something you can't rely on. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. I said, yes, that's exactly the point. Like the guys on the bench are the guys where when you get performances like this is what can change the games, right? When you have you need players on the bench that can come in and sometimes you're going to get great performances out of them and sometimes maybe not. If you got a performance like this out of Isaiah Evans every single time he stepped on the floor, like he wouldn't be sitting on the bench. But it's the fact that you have a dude that is dangerous enough where when he gets going, he can completely change the game. Like Duke was struggling a little bit. They were in the mud offensively. They bring this dude in, and all of a sudden they go into halftime with a 7-point lead and have control of this game. That's what you need on your bench. You need game changers on your bench. And Isaiah Evans proved that he was a game changer. Credit to him, man. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. The shooter's got to stay ready.